In my brief history of being a YouTuber, and we are coming up on about 2 years in this upcoming November, December time, I've had a couple of videos, and not many, that have made me a very big point of controversy. I mean, this ain't Donald Trump level, okay? I'm not on CNN, I'm not on Fox, but what I'm saying is a lot of people took notice and had a very strong opinion either for or against me on only several occasions. One of those videos was my top 5 ways to become a better Smite player video, one of my highest viewed videos of all time. In that video, I gave 5 pretty realistic and very good basic ground rules for new Smite players and how to just become a better player overall. And one of those rules was to never surrender. Really. Never. That's where F7 came from. It was nothing until I made that video. It wasn't a part of my brand. It was just something I personally believed in, and that got a lot of people's attention. Whether you believe in F7 or not, it's something that I just personally do, and a lot of people feel that there needs to be a right answer on whether it's good or whether it's bad. A lot of people love it and think everyone should do it. A lot of people don't love it and think no one should do it, especially in the right circumstances where it affects other people. And listen, we're not here to get into that argument, but that's just an example. Now, the second example is a video called the top 5 reasons why OP God releases are good for Smite. And if you've never seen that video, you may be saying, what, Randy, OP God releases are good for Smite? I hate OP God releases. Now, honestly, I believe the video still made and still makes very valid points. And if you want to watch it, you can check it out. I'll link those in the description below. But a lot of people did not like my approach to that argument. Thought it was flawed, liked to dissect a lot of pieces. Other people made commentary videos about that. And it just goes to show that a lot of people really were against just the general thought that putting something out OP is good. I mean, it didn't matter what I said. It was in the title. That was the controversy right there. People did not think OP God releases were good. They actually hated it out of most everything in Smite. A lot of people will tell you that the reason they don't like Smite is because certain gods are stronger than other gods, certain classes are stronger than other classes. It's a balance thing, and people get really frustrated at that, more so than almost anything that the game offers. So, yesterday evening, little old Randy gets back from TwitchCon and checks up on his old Smite game, and that's where he sees the patch notes and looks to see what the new god CAMAZOTZ has to offer. Of course, I've known CAMAZOTZ was coming out and I couldn't make a video about it. It's kind of like YouTuber hell, having every single leak possible emailed to you, but of course, being able to be fired if you mention even an ounce or a word of anything on it. But I mean, it's cool. You know, I don't care. I don't care. So what was really interesting to me is I started watching the patch notes and waiting for people's reactions. I actually like to watch the patch notes with the Twitch chat open to see how people were reacting to everything. It makes me feel like I'm watching it live. It's a better experience, and I get to see how the crowd takes the new god. And so I was watching the chat, and I gotta say, I was marveled at how many people felt that he was underpowered, and also said it with a bit of disdain or disappointment, as if they didn't want that. Now, you wait 1 second here, boy. I see exactly where you're going with this. You're not going to trap me in that voodoo, logical noise magic that you're making with your mouth over there, okay? I understand that you're saying that I can't complain about it being underpowered if I complain about it being overpowered as well, okay? I mean, I'm not exactly saying that. I'm just saying that the video that so many people complained about, talking about how gods are better when released overpowered, obviously takes into the fact that no god is perfectly released and balanced the second they come out. No god achieves perfect balance. Balance in itself is an act, right? It's making sure one thing tips up slightly, one thing goes down. It's a constant measurement. Your AC outputs cold air. It doesn't put out 62-degree air. It outputs cold air so that the heat can come down. And once the heat comes down, it stops putting out cold air. And then all of a sudden, it starts to rise again in temperature until it needs to put out more cold air. It's a constant force being pushed back and forth. So what's going to happen realistically is you're going to have a god that gets released, and then you're going to have that god be a little bit stronger based on the current meta, and that could be based on the items that just get released or tweaked. You could have other gods that get buffs or nerfs, like Scylla and Susano got a buff or a nerf. That could indirectly affect some of the assassin picks or team compositions, which makes what this new god bring either more or less valuable. All of that, basically, the whole point is that it's either a little bit too strong, a little bit too weak, maybe a way too strong, maybe way too weak, and it needs to get readjusted so that it finds its place back towards middle ground. Now, here's the truth. If you don't want overpowered gods, and I get it, maybe you don't want overpowered gods, and maybe that's just a really bad experience for you. I personally enjoy them. I like them. I think it brings a lot of positives to the game and is the better alternative. then you're going to get a god that maybe is underwhelming, because underpowered gods, when they don't bring something incredibly strong, don't do something incredibly, not even game breaking, but game changing in terms of shifting the meta, a new type of global, something like that, they're inherently not as exciting as gods that do that. I mean, can we just be real about that? If a god has a global ult that's going to stun everyone no matter where they are on the map for a second, that's going to be really exciting, and people are going to, be really hyped up about that. They may be mad, they may be happy, you know what I mean? But it's going to get a big reaction versus another god who just fits the same role of, I've got a movement ability, I've got a line ability, I've got an ult that does damage, and I've got a steroid, right? That's not going to cause as much excitement. I mean, I guess the funny part is that everyone is just kind of always, the grass is always greener, right? And that's just a part of human nature. A lot of us look and see what's in front of us and we say, that's bad, I don't like that. But we're not really faced with the alternative, because when we are, we realize that, well, maybe that wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Maybe it actually was the better version. And I think that people are really just complaining because there's no clear, obvious thing that makes CAMAZOTZ better than any other choice in the jungle. Now, I'm not saying that he can't be really good and he can't find his way, and maybe somebody's going to pick him up and just do freaking wonders. Somebody might just own with this god, as it tends to happen because people don't know how to play against new gods when they first come out. So you'll probably see CAMAZOTZ doing well, but I'm just thinking that people are not immediately seeing how he's good or better than the other class of really strong assassins. And I think that that's part of the reason people are kind of saying, meh, I wouldn't necessarily pick him right now over someone else, because I don't know what to do with him that makes him better than someone else, right? I haven't seen the evidence for that. And so ultimately it comes down to people not really knowing how to use him or what makes him better than any other assassin choice. But the other thing is that he seemed kind of hard, and I saw a lot of people who were looking at his kit and were saying, I'm confused, I don't know what to do. What, pick up the pools, mark a buff camp, I can fly and do these things 3 times and the timer. But a lot of people were just a little bit more confused. He had a little bit more of a complicated kit than most other gods, and I think that always throws people for a loop. And I think that a lot of gods that come out that are actually good are kind of considered not good until people figure them out. There's just a skill ceiling that needs to be, accessed a little bit before people can see the true potential of a god. And CAMAZOTZ has a lot of lifesteal. He's an ability-powered lifesteal god, which is very unique, a little different off script. And so I think it just doesn't fit into the common mold of what people know. This is good, this ain't that good, this is trash. And he just is in this place where people can't really figure him out yet. So a lot of the videos coming out over the next few days will be really interesting to see how people showcase his strengths, his weaknesses in PTS, and 1v1s, and regular conquest gameplay, and just ability guides, overviews, that probably stuff that I'll be doing in the future. Now, I'm tired. I just got back from TwitchCon. I'm about to I'm actually going to watch some Kill la Kill before I go to bed. All right? I'm on episode 23. I'm about to, about to do some stuff. So I got to get back to that anime. But I did just want to say that the most interesting part of this was hearing people's reactions to an OP god and having an unfavorable reaction whereas I really think that the only other alternative is having a god that's put on a little bit of the stronger side. So I think people really need to get clear and aware of what they're really asking for, because if you're not asking for a god that's clearly a little bit better than the other gods, you're pretty much asking for either a perfect miracle of perfect balance, which pretty much never happens, or you're asking a god to be released that you feel is a little underwhelming, a little underpowered. And I don't know if people want to wait 2 weeks or a month and have that experience versus an experience of, oh dang, this god's going to change everything. It's going to be crazy when this god comes out. I can't wait to play. It's kind of the grass is always greener, damned if you do, damned if you don't. And it's just interesting how the human mind works. And so it's just a topic I wanted to make people aware of. It's something that came up in my mind, and hopefully you found it interesting. If you did, please leave a like, comment. Let me know your thoughts below. If you think people are doing this and kind of playing victim to the own things that they suggested. If you're one of the crew that you don't like OP God releases, how do you feel about the CAMAZOTZ release? Do you even think he's underpowered? Or do you think he has a lot of potential and people just haven't recognized it yet based on the initial first impressions? I'm excited to hear your thoughts, and of course I want to know, like I said, in the comment section below. So please do leave your thoughts on this new Mayan god. I'm really excited to play him. And of course, if you'd like to subscribe and stay tuned to future CAMAZOTZ gameplay, commentary, or anything Smite, Paladins, and a little bit of Battle Right related, stay tuned here to Rain Day Gaming. Welcome to the storm, all of you who have just joined, and I look forward to seeing you all next episode. As always, remember to never give up, never stop gaming, and I'll see you all next time.